here in Liverpool. Joe Cooper in his second pro fight against Lukasz Barabash. He's lost 13 of his 17 fights, but he's only been stopped once. What's going to happen in this one? Let's get you over to your commentary team, Paul Dempsey and Richie Woodall.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fight Night Live on TNT Sports from the M&S Bank Arena in Liverpool, England. It is all being brought to you by Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry Promotions, along with their great sponsors, Riyadh Season, 32 Red, and Unibet. We get things started with 4 rounds scheduled, and it is an international middleweight contest. Our timekeeper is Chris O'Connor, and when the bell rings, our referee in charge and scoring this contest will be Steve Gray. Introducing to you first, fighting tonight out of the red corner, he comes to the ring wearing red and black and weighed in officially at 11 stone, 5 pounds. Coming to us from Mikołów, Poland, he brings a professional record of 4 wins, 13 defeats, with 2 of his 4 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lukasz Barabasz. And his opponent across the ring, fighting tonight out of the blue corner. He comes to the ring wearing gold with red and weighed in the same as his opponent, 11 stone, 5 pounds. Hailing from Essex, England, he is undefeated with 1 victory. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Joe, the Showstopper Cooper.
Okay, fellas, if I call a break, you take 1 step back. Don't throw punches down the back of the head. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck, lads.
Steve Gray completes the preliminaries. Thank you, Lorna. Thomas Tribus on MC duty tonight, and we're all set to get it rolling here back in Liverpool on a Queensberry show for the first time I make it in 8 years. A whole new generation of boxing talent has come through here on Merseyside, and here's an addition tonight, an 18-year-old from Essex, Joe Cooper. Heard some good things, Richie. I know he was gently led into the pro game in Belfast in the summer, but there's a lot more apparently that Joe Gallagher thinks he can get out of this kid than he showed on that occasion. And my first observation, he must be one of the very youngest pros in the game in Britain right now.
Absolutely. So a big future ahead of him. Apparently lots of skills, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes here against a fairly awkward and tough opponent. Barabasz, you know, a tough Polish boxer. He's only been stopped once in the 13 defeats that he's had, so he's a bit of a tough cookie. So this will be a test for the young Cooper, who, as you said, Paul, very young indeed, and the whole of his career in front of him. So yeah, let's have a look how he goes here.
4 rounds it went against the Colombian John Henry Mosquera on his professional debut. Fairly big show, isn't it, Rich, to be coming into fight number 2. That can work both ways, of course. It can give a young fighter the thrill, the smell of it, if you like, for the future.
Very much so. And Paul here, just Barabasz, the way he's coming in, probably needs a right uppercut in this contest. A young Joe Cooper here, but he's working well now. See, Barabasz is fairly dangerous when he gets up close. He whips those right hands over the top. So Cooper's just got to watch out for that, because he's got a fairly low lead hand. Working well with his jab there, but like I say, maybe the right uppercut's needed. You see, there's the right hand from Barabasz. He whips it over the top.
Barabasz most certainly knows his way around. Only actually had 17 pro fights before tonight, but he is 35 years of age. I understand he didn't turn pro until he was in his 30s, but he's been packing them in since. The man from Poland, and he didn't need Satnav to get him back to Merseyside, because he fought in Huyton elsewhere in this locality in the summer for John Heenahan. That went 6 rounds.
Nice little feint there with that front foot from Cooper. That's what he's got to do here. Keep those punches nice and straight and keep the distance between himself and Barabash. And if Barabash does come over that front foot and just closes that gap a little bit, that's when you've got to bring the right uppercut into play. But better boxing now. He's trying to find his range, you see, behind that jab is Cooper.
He's certainly been made to work every minute of this first round so far, has Joe Cooper. Showstopper on his trunks. We've got the showman, Henry Turner, later on the show tonight against Jack Rafferty. What could be a ferocious British and Commonwealth title fight. One of the supporting contests. We're certainly in for a great night of action here on TNT Sports from the M&S Arena, right on the banks of the great River Mersey, previously known as the Liverpool Echo Arena. And among the many big names in the house, Tyson Fury. He's got a family connection elsewhere on the card tonight. He's looking pretty sleek, Richie, isn't he?
Yeah, indeed, and obviously we're all looking forward to that return with Alexander Usyk in December, and I'm sure he's preparing for that.
So our opener for the evening in the yellow and red trunks, Joe Cooper from Essex. He's a Joe Gallagher stable mate at this moment. Lukasz Barabasz is there to give him rounds and maybe a little bit of a test tonight from Poland at middleweight. Barabash has won 4 in his 17 pro fights before this one. And the key really seems to me, Richie, with Barabash, if he's on weight, his mind is right, and he'll go and give whoever he's fighting a good test. There have been 1 or 2 nights when he's been way above his best weight. Yeah, most definitely. You know, he's fairly dangerous. See, there's that right hand again there. So it's really important that Cooper doesn't take things for granted here, keeps the punches nice and straight, and maintains that gap between himself and Barabash. Barabash, on the other hand, he's got to keep moving that head in, and what he's got to do is get up close and whip the shots over the top, and he's been successful with a couple of them, and that's why it's important for Cooper with the movement and keeping the punches straight. And as I say, as a last resort, that right uppercut of his, I think would pay dividends also. Some really good work in flashes. He's actually been quite tested in another sense early on, has young Cooper. Much more so than on the opening night in Belfast, because he has taken a few here, Richie. Yeah, exactly. So it's a real good test for him in Barabash, who's strong, who's tough, who's awkward, throws punches from different angles and whips them over the top. See, there's another one there, isn't too far away. So it's a good learning fight against a tough opponent. Cooper's a cousin of Billy Joe Saunders, another bloodline, much like the Furies. Well, if he retains a few of the skills of Billy Joe Saunders, he'll be okay, because an exceptional boxer, Billy Joe, in terms of his defence. Surely one of the most talented fighters over the last 20 years in Britain, Richie, I would think. Definitely talented man indeed. Barabash just lets the pace drop really for the first time. 30 seconds left in this second round, and that's all the invitation Cooper needs to show a little bit of Saunders-like class. Yeah, absolutely. That was a lovely shot there from Cooper. Barabash just pausing a little and probably slowing his feet down and just allowing Cooper just to maintain that gap. Another uppercut went in there, you see, from Cooper. So now he's starting to find his range a lot better, because the feet have slowed from Barabash. That's actually suiting Cooper. In the Lukasz Barabasz corner between the round, second about to give way to round 3 here in our opener on TNT Sports from the M&S Arena in Liverpool. I didn't hear the word extra in that corner from the Polish second. Normally when a Polish fighter's going well, you hear a lot of extra. Your Polish is good then, Paul? No, it's a very sporadic indeed, Richie.
Right, step back.
Don't be there, Joe.
Steve Gray just steps in for a moment. Cooper started to take control quite impressively, actually, in that second round.
Yeah, it's just about concentration, Paul, as well. If there's a lapse in concentration, you just allow the opponent to get a little bit closer. That's when you can walk onto a shot. But while he's using that jab, speed and accuracy, and he's just keeping Barabasz at bay, and it's more difficult than Barabasz to close that gap down because he's got to get past that shot. But it's all about concentration, because in professional boxing, Paul, against this type of opponent, you can come unstuck. You can get complacent. It can become too easy at times. And this type of opponent then could just whip one over. They're tough, they're strong. See, there's that uppercut that we spoke about. Yeah, stops him right in his tracks and then follows it up with the jab. Good boxing.
Barabasz stopped only once, and he went 6 fairly hard rounds with Sean Noakes, the brother of the triple champion at lightweight, Sam Noakes. Sean Noakes, that was a fight at Wembley. He's now the English champion, Sean, in September 2023. And with a performance like that, Richie, he just inks his name, doesn't he, into the list of potential phone calls from the promoter when the job opportunities on the line.
Yeah, they know they're going to get a good night's work out of their opponent, don't they, when they book him, because he's strong and he's tough, and like I say, he's awkward, and he lands the odd shot here and there, so he's always in a contest, so he's fairly dangerous, isn't he? Look at that for an unorthodox way of throwing a punch there. Just change his feet round to a southpaw, then whips that left hand over. So he's fairly dangerous, isn't he, and competitive. I think that's the word, Paul. He's competitive.
That's what comes with the know-how of a Barabasz, though, Richie, isn't it? You know, he perhaps felt in that second round, I'm just letting this kid think he can showboat here. I won't stand for that tonight.
Yeah, and just walks forward. Probably needs a little bit more head movement. That's a little bit better from him. But, you know, throwing shots like that, just hoping to land one. But like I said, he's fairly awkward, isn't he? And that's where Cooper doesn't need to be on those ropes. He needs to get back into that centre ring.
So Joe Cooper, pleasing opener from him tonight. So much excitement later on this card. It goes deep, and it's not all about Merseyside by any means tonight. And a rising star is also part of this tonight. Haider Herrera, he's a Cuban. He could have become one of their great Olympians, we're told, but he decided to go pro early, and he has been blitzing through the early stage of his pro career. Huge excitement in Liverpool about him arriving. And also, of course, we mentioned the Fury connection, and Walter Fury is also going to be featuring on the card a little bit later, with the family in attendance. And Dennis the Menace is in the middle of that as well.
Dennis McCann's there. There's another exciting prospect as well, McCann.
Barabasz seeking to close the range right at the start of this fourth and final round, and Cooper was ready. I think we're going to see an all-out barrage for a minute or so here from Barabasz. Final flurry. Hasn't really made a mark on Cooper, even if he has found him at times.
No, he hasn't.
Doesn't need to stay on that rope, Richie.
No, he doesn't. And you see, and this is where he might pick up a head clash where you could get cut or anything, Paul. So, you know, it's risky business when you're allowing your man to close the gap down like that and just stick his head in your face and on your chest. Just keep your distance and box sensibly. But like I've said before, Barabasz, he comes to compete and he comes to win. It's a fair play. He's given a good account of himself again.
And now the tempo does drop. Didn't quite get the full minute. Cooper reasserts from the outside. Very fetching colour scheme, isn't it? This yellow and red. And on the back of his trunks, there's a little genuflection, if you like, a nod. The words Champs Camp are emblazoned across the back of his trunks. The old Champ Camp in Moss Side in Manchester, reopened by Joe Gallagher, of course, who's in the corner. And if he can bite at any of that tradition, it will really help him very well indeed.
Yeah, I remember the old coach, Phil Martin. The late Phil Martin, the late great Phil Martin. What a coach he was, fantastic. Well, yeah, the old Champs Camp, Manchester, very famous indeed. Famous colours. And Joe Cooper now, he's boxing, seen this one out now, but he's come and had a bit of a go, Barabash, in this last round, so he's made it competitive, and it's a good contest now. Well, you can see flashes of skill from Cooper. Obviously, with Barabash, it's all industry, it's work rate coming onto his opponent, but the flashes of skill from Cooper, yeah, excellent. Just got to maintain a gap against this tough man in front of him.
Barabash with a little word in the ear there to Cooper. Sometimes in situations like that, the quotes opponent, Richie, will say, go on, do a bit of this for the last minute, make a big finish for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That's because you lot have made a different stuff to the rest of us, Richie.
Yeah, well, I mean, this fella here, Barabash, fair play to him. He's given it everything in this last round. Cooper, I think, is just enjoying it. He's taking a few risks, but nevertheless, like I say, flashes and glimpses of the skills that he's got, Cooper. But this is a good learning fight. Takes a good shot there from Barabash. And again, so he's in it right to the end.
Again, he's happy to try to feel the rope on his back and then smart enough to move away from that potential middle minefield right at the end of it. They let a few big ones go right to the bell. And the crowd certainly enjoyed every moment of that. But Barabash is going to need a little bit of time to fill his tank again. He really did put it in.
That was a great last round, wasn't it? And great last 30 or 40 seconds. Joe Cooper just stood and traded with his opponent there. Barabash landed some good punches of his own and give it everything in that last round. So I think it was a real good fight for Joe Cooper. Only his second contest, a learning contest indeed. But Barabash coming strong right at the end and caught Cooper with a couple of good shots. But Cooper just playing peekaboo here, keeping that guard nice and high. Gets caught there with a shot and actually lands one of his own and knows he landed. But fair play to Barabash, he really went for it, but it was a cracking last 30 seconds.
That was a fair test for anybody, an 18-year-old in a second professional fight.
Definitely, against someone who's 35, who's had, what, 16, 17 contests. It was a good experience, only been stopped once. Yes, it was a good learning fight, a great workout, and he'll have learned a lot from that.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of boxing, our referee in charge, Steve Gray, scores the contest 40-37 for your winner. And still undefeated, Joe the Showstopper Cooper.
A very pleasing second pro outing from this young man. The road ahead is very long indeed, Laura, but he looks to be a candidate potentially. Let's leave it at that for the moment.
Okay, there we go. Good win for him, as he was saying there, only his second pro fight. Quite new to this, but actually quite an extensive amateur career. How difficult is it for him? If you go back to the fight before last, when he's turning pro and he's been inactive for as long as he has, how difficult is that to go pro after 2 years of that?
Laura, do you know what?
Joe, well done. Second outing. How'd you find it out there?
Yeah, good. I thought I boxed really well for the 3 rounds. I thought with my last round I was starting to have a fight with him. Don't know, I got caught with a few silly little shots, but I buzzed him 2 times, especially big in the last 10 seconds. I buzzed him pretty heavy. If it would have been another 20 seconds, so I reckon I could have got him out of there. But yeah, all in all, it was a pretty good performance.
Look, fighting on these undercards, we saw you in Dublin, you're now in Liverpool Arena. Does that give you a taste of what you would like to continue doing on these cards?
I keep doing what I'm doing. I keep working hard in the gym with Joe. Obviously, I'm going to get there. You know, there's only one way, and that's the top. So.
Every time you go in the ring at minute, what do you want to come out with apart from a win? What do you want to learn?
Just basically what we've been working on in the gym, just trying to show to all the fans here what me and Joe's been working on in the gym, really. That's about it.
Joe, is he showing what you've done at the gym?
Yeah, I thought it was a huge improvement from his professional debut. Showed good composure against a good seasoned professional there. As you've seen, he come to win there. He came and had a go, and I thought Joe boxed very well in the first 2 or 3 rounds. Listen, he's 18 years old. I mean, second professional fight, and like I say, the last round, as young kids do, the youth in them, want to stand there and have it. Like, do you know what I mean? And he did do. And listen, I'm pleased with his performance tonight.
Excellent. Sticking around for the main event?
Yeah, should do. Yeah.
Who are you calling it?
Nick Ball all day.
Awesome, Joe, well done, thank you.
Thank you.